Hello and welcome to A Little Less Lisa. If you're new here, my name is Lisa and I am currently on a health and wellness journey, initially kicked off by a weight loss journey. I am just now in maintenance period. I lost my weight through diet, exercise, and the help of a GLP-1 medicine. Specifically, I take compounded Tirzepatide. As a little bit of background, I started my journey at 183.8 pounds. I currently weigh 138.8 pounds for a total weight loss of 45 pounds. And I have done that in 19 weeks. So I just titrated down to 2.5 milligrams. So I am currently in my first week of that. So if you want to see how maintenance is going, make sure you subscribe to my channel so you catch my weekly update videos. And this coming one will be the first one to report on the official titrating down and how that may have affected my week. So I'll be curious to know, just as you all are, because I haven't weighed myself since my last weigh-in day. So anyway, today's video is all about 9 mistakes that people make when on a GLP-1 medication journey, or honestly, probably any weight loss journey, but some I think are a little more specific to GLP-1 medications. So if you are interested in not making some of these mistakes, then stay tuned. Mistake number 1, not getting enough protein. So what do we need protein for? We need protein for satiety. So it helps us feel fuller. It keeps us feeling fuller longer. It keeps us satiated or satisfied is what that means. It also helps build muscle. We need protein in order to build muscle. And one of the things that we want to do on a weight loss journey is try to minimize the amount of muscle mass that's lost and really maximize the amount of fat that is lost. And then hopefully even increase our lean muscle mass while losing fat. And we need protein to do all of those things. So it's really, really important that you get, the sort of optimal or at least minimal number of protein grams in order to facilitate what your body needs to do during this process. I will have a link in the description box below that can take you to a calculator in case you don't know how many grams of protein you should be consuming each day. That can help you out. Mistake number 2, not getting enough water. How much water do you need? I think that's up to debate. And they used to say you should get 8 glasses of water a day, so that would be 64 ounces. I think now people are saying more like 80. I personally get usually anywhere between 96 and 120 ounces of water each day, but just make sure that you are getting enough, that your body can function appropriately and all of your different systems work in its most optimal way. It will also help, curb hunger sometimes, but I think most importantly, it's really what your body needs to function optimally. Number 3 is a mistake that you should do as I say, not as I do, and that is not getting enough calories. Now, a couple things here. 1, yes, obviously, the fewer calories you eat, the faster perhaps your weight loss might be. But there are some detrimental effects to that too. You can impact your metabolism. You can cause some hair loss, which I am dealing with right now, and it's not fun. I personally think that the rate at which I lost weight is what is causing my extreme hair loss right now. I think that if I had lost my weight at a much slower pace, I wouldn't be dealing with this right now. I know that hair loss is very common in weight loss, especially rapid weight loss. I know when it comes to bariatric surgery, for example, again, because that weight loss tends to be very quick, that a lot of people deal with excessive hair loss with that as well. But again, it comes from the rate of loss. If you are eating enough calories, so, there's obviously a fine line. You have a calorie deficit that you need to be in order to lose weight, but then there's being way under whatever that calorie deficit is. So if your calorie deficit minimum is 1,200 calories, but you're only eating 700 calories, that's a big difference. And while yes, it probably will speed up your weight loss, you will probably, like me, have some detrimental impacts as a result of that. So please, like I said, don't do as I do, do as I say right now, which is please make sure that you are getting enough calories. And, I know that that's hard sometimes, especially when on a GLP-1 medicine. That honestly was what I was dealing with. I had so much hunger suppression. And in addition to the hunger suppression, when I did eat that, the impact of the drugs making me feel fuller faster, and the fact that things empty through your gastrointestinal system much more slowly made it so that when I did eat, I could only eat, 3, 4, 5 bites of something at a given time. And then I would feel full for a long time. I honestly really never felt hunger at all during my, I guess technically 15 weeks of actual weight loss until I got to my goal. And then yes, I've lost some additional weight since then. But my point is, I think in order to be as healthy as you can during the weight loss process, I would just implore you to do whatever you can to really try to hit that minimum calorie deficit goal, so that yes, you're in a calorie deficit, but you're not losing so fast that you may impact your metabolism in the long run. And like I said, suffer from some of those not so great side effects like excessive hair loss. Number 4, not being prepared for side effects. Now, not everybody experiences side effects. Not everybody experiences the same side effects, but there are some pretty common ones that a lot of people experience, and ones that I think it would be helpful to at least be a little prepared for. So, making sure that you've got some extra fiber, whether that is in the form of, like a Metamucil or a Fiber One sort of powder supplement that you can mix in with something, or some fiber gummies, something like that, because again, you may not be able to get enough fiber from your actual diet, so you may need some supplements. In addition to that, you may suffer from, TMI, diarrhea, okay? And maybe you need to have some Imodium on hand. Most of us, I would say, experience constipation. I think if you took a poll of 100 people, I'm guessing that the majority of that 100 people would say that constipation is probably the biggest side effect they deal with. So, again, make sure you've got some magnesium supplements on hand. Make sure you've got some Miralax on hand. I mean, there are other things that you can take. I know some people take, is it like Senecal or something? Some supplement like that. I personally take Mag 07. If you're interested in that, there's always a link in my description box if you are interested in getting it. It's just off of Amazon. And I really do think that that's helpful. I do also take Miralax a couple times a week. Just again, it sort of depends on how my system is doing. If I feel like maybe I'm starting to get a little backed up, I usually add a scoop of that again to one of my protein drinks or to an electrolyte, something like that, something that I drink. But making sure that you have some of those things on hand. Again, nausea is probably another very common one. You can try ginger chews. You can certainly ask your physician for a prescription for Zofran, for example. That's something that I have because I couldn't stomach the ginger taste chew thing. I'm not a ginger person. So again, just being prepared for some of those very common side effects will really, really help your situation and help your whole process go a little more smoothly. Mistake number 5, I think, is a huge one, and that is not using this time to change your lifestyle. So, everybody kind of has a different philosophy about how they think they're going to handle life after they've lost weight, right? Some people say, I plan on staying on this medication for life. I don't think that I can, get through it without it. I can't maintain my weight without it. Some people absolutely do not want to be on this medicine for life, and so they need to figure out how to move forward without the medication. If you are off the medication, your food noise is going to come back. That's just something that is going to happen because the medicine is what really impacts that. You are also going to have more hunger. Now, if you stay on some amount of the medication, you may have less of that, right? Because typically you are going to titrate down to some much smaller dose of what you were on that for your body to actually lose weight. So you will try to figure out, like I am, sort of what is that dosage that will allow me to maintain my weight, but also keep that food noise at bay and some of that hunger, that extreme hunger, I guess, at bay. But the main thing that you need to do, because like I said, you will get to a point, even if you stay on this medicine for life, is you don't want to not have hunger at all. You want to experience hunger. That's important that you experience hunger cues from your body. You need that, and you need that so that you eat enough food. But with that means that you are going to need to be more in control of what you eat, right? When on higher doses of this medicine, it's a lot easier to not eat some of those things that may not be the best for your diet. Now, in my personal opinion, there is no such thing as a bad food. I think anything can be eaten in moderation. That's my own personal opinion. You can have your opinion on it, but my own personal opinion is French fries are not bad. Ice cream is not bad. Cake is not bad. Eating a whole cake, bad. Eating a slice of cake or half a slice of cake, whatever it is, if you're doing that in moderation, is completely appropriate. But if you don't use this time to start really developing good habits, whether that be in your diet and in exercise, you are going to get to the end of this road and be in a world of hurt. People that, and I guess I should have maybe said this is another mistake. Okay, I'll make this a bonus mistake. People who think that they can just eat whatever they want and continue to lose weight. You might be able to do that for the first few weeks while using this medicine. If you have a lot of weight to lose, so, your calorie deficit number is still pretty high. So, maybe you can still eat that whole cheeseburger. I mean, I'm not sure that the fullness factor and the emptying factor will allow you to eat an entire cheeseburger, but let's say you can. There definitely are people who can still eat some of those high caloric, high volume foods and lose weight. But eventually you're going to get to a point on this medicine where you can't be eating that number of calories and that volume of food and continue to lose weight. So if you are not changing your habits and getting used to eating, lower volume, high nutrient, high density type foods, like I said, you're going to be in a world of hurt when you get to the end of your road. So really maximize the use of this medication. I heard somebody say in a video, and I apologize that I didn't write down the name of the creator when I heard this, but the phrase was, don't waste the shot. Okay? Take this time to really understand your satiety and use that to its utmost benefit. Make the changes now so that when you get to the end of the road and you've lost all your weight and you're moving into maintenance, it will be so much easier. Mistake number 6, or I guess because I gave a bonus, maybe mistake number 7, is not getting enough sleep. Sleep is really, really important for the recovery of your body, and studies have shown that not getting enough sleep can lower your metabolism. Now, obviously, that's the last thing that we want to do when we're trying to lose weight, right? We're trying to maximize our metabolism. We're trying to make sure that our metabolism stays, revved up so it's burning those calories and we're able to lose weight. So please make sure you're getting enough sleep. That may be different for everybody, obviously. I think, though, that 7 to 8 hours is really what I think most studies will show is optimal, that is enough time for your body to get the rest that it needs for both your brain functioning and your organs and whole body, like I said, optimally working. So don't make that mistake. I know it can be hard, you guys, especially I know some people suffer from insomnia. Using these medicines, again, I would highly recommend that you reach out to your provider if you're suffering from something like insomnia, so you can try to work with your provider on how you can deal with that, whether it's taking melatonin or, something else that maybe your doctor may prescribe. But it's really, really important that you get that vital sleep. Like I said, I know that sometimes it can be hard, and it's not to say that things won't happen. If you have little ones or something that are still getting up in the middle of the night, obviously that's going to be harder, but do the best you can to get proper sleep. Number 7/number 8, I guess, is not dealing with the underlying issues that caused you to gain weight in the first place. Now, I'm not saying that you don't have physical and metabolic things that caused you to gain weight, because that's why we're taking this medicine, right? Pretty much all of us have tried to lose weight and just have not been able to be successful because we have some things going on metabolically in our body and in our brain that is making it, very, very difficult or impossible to lose weight. However, most of us have some kind of psychological component as well. We use food as a crutch or as a soothing aspect or as a celebratory aspect. There are lots of different reasons why we overeat, and we didn't become overweight just because of some of the metabolic imbalances that we have in our body. That's what's probably contributing to us not being able to lose weight when we are in a calorie deficit and putting forth the effort that, sort of a normal person, whatever that means, can. But there are, for most people, some underlying reasons why we became overweight to begin with. Take this time, like I said, while you are losing weight, while you have, control over your appetite, where you don't have food noise, to really investigate what those underlying issues are. And for some people, those sort of underlying emotions and reasons really come to the surface during this process, because again, you may have been using food to deal with certain emotions, like I said, whether that be sadness or anxiety, some sort of comfort mechanism. And because you can't eat now, you may be experiencing some of those emotions that you don't really know how to handle now that you don't really have the ability to deal with them with food. So, whether that is finding a therapist or some type of online group or journaling, whatever that looks like to you, I highly encourage you to use this time to deal with those underlying issues so that, again, when you lose all the weight and you are in maintenance and now living your best life, that you can do it free of those issues. Mistake number 8/9 is titrating up too fast. Now, the studies that were done on these medications originally were done obviously in a controlled setting, and they had a prescripted titration schedule, right? So everybody was on the lowest dose for 4 weeks, and they moved up to the next dose and the next dose and the next dose and the next, and so on. When these medications then came out, that is what the original guidelines, my understanding is that if you open up the, huge, enormous insert into one of the name brand drugs, you will see the directions say to go ahead and follow that guidance, titrate up every 4 weeks. And I think that a lot of physicians still are following that old advice because honestly, like I said, that's what the studies were based on, and so that's what the manufacturers were recommending. The manufacturers have now sort of pulled back from that and have realized that really you should only titrate up when a dose is no longer working for you. Now, obviously, people may have different opinions on what not working for you means. I personally would say that if you haven't lost really any weight over the course of 3-4 weeks on a dose, and more importantly, you are getting that food noise back and you are experiencing more hunger than you had previously on that dose, I would say it's probably time to titrate up. But if you're not experiencing any more hunger and you're not experiencing any food noise coming back and your weight loss maybe has just slowed down, I would give it a little more time. I honestly think that you should try to maximize every single dose you're on. Now, again, this is just my opinion. I am not a doctor. I am not giving any kind of medical advice here. You should 100% talk to your own provider about when it is appropriate to titrate up. But I would be wary of a doctor or a provider that is telling you that you should titrate up every 4 weeks like clockwork, because I really don't think that that is the current thoughts on how this medication should be given. And, we only have a certain number of doses on this medication, right? You're eventually going to titrate up to the maximum dose. And there are people out there who started this medication earlier who followed that every 4-week protocol, and now they're at the highest dose and they've maxed out. They have no place else to go. And as their weight loss starts slowing down and some of those other side effects, meaning, food noise and hunger, are coming back, they don't have any place to go. So I think this is a really important one. Take your time. Don't be in a rush to titrate up. If that medicine is working for you, if you aren't really hungry that much, and if you aren't hearing the food noise, and if that scale is still moving in the right direction, stick on that dose. And the last mistake, 9 or 10, depending on how you're counting, I think is another one that's really, really important. And that is to not compare your journey to anybody else's. Now, I know that that is really hard because, for example, you're watching me. You may subscribe to my channel. You might watch some of my weekly updates. You will then probably know that I was a very fast loser. Probably not for the really right reasons, because I wasn't eating enough food, but I lost very quickly. You're probably on some of the Facebook groups. Again, you probably see the two extremes on Facebook, right? You see the people who are losing super fast and, I just finished, my first 4 weeks and I dropped 20 pounds or something, to the people who are on the other end of the spectrum who I just finished my first 4 weeks and I lost half a pound, right? You don't kind of see people in the middle. It's sort of like good reviews versus bad reviews, right? It's very unusual to see a really great review of a restaurant, but you're always going to see the really negative ones, right? Because the people who are mad have the loudest voices. But my point is, just please, please do not compare your journey to anybody else's. We are all unique. We all have different bodies. We all have different, potential underlying conditions, underlying metabolic rates, age, weight, gender. All of those things play into how we respond to these medications. And, as the saying goes, comparison is the thief of joy. It really, really is. Just follow your own journey. Your journey is what your journey is meant to be. Now, that's not to say that you can't take suggestions from some people and, to some of these mistakes that I've talked about early on. For example, maybe you're not getting enough protein in, and so that might be slowing down your journey. So maybe you want to increase your protein and you'll see some additional results. It's not to say that you can't take bits and pieces from other people's experiences, but to compare how fast or how slow somebody else's journey is compared to yours is just, you're going to drive yourself nuts doing that, and you're not doing yourself justice. So your journey is your journey. It will happen. And if for some reason things aren't going great for you, again, talk to your provider and try to do some of that deep dive into maybe what might be behind that, and figure things out from there. But just don't base your journey on anybody else's. So that's it, guys. Those are the 9/10 mistakes that you might be making on your GLP-1 journey. Please let me know in the comments below. Are there other mistakes that you think people are making out there? I would love to hear those, so put those in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, I would love it if you would give it a thumbs up. It does help the algorithm. If you enjoy this kind of content, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. Click the subscribe button and the notification bell below. It does mean a lot to a content creator when you subscribe to their channel. If you would like to continue watching more videos from me, there'll be another one over in the corner here that you can click on to watch. And remember, kindness and hate spread the same. The choice is yours. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.